Oh, hello everyone, and welcome back to Beyond the Stats. And honestly, I don't know. This week was so weird that, honestly, this is one of those weeks that just makes you think, man, the NFL is so weird and random. Honestly, anything can happen. It really isn't any given Sunday thing. All three of the top three teams in last week's power rankings lost, so it's gonna be a little bit of a shake-up there. But before we get to the power rankings for this week, we're going to go through the game rankings, and only two teams had a bye, which I thought was weird. I don't know why they have four teams have a bye last week, but only two this week. So we have 15 games this week, and I'll just rank them, give just a little bit about them. I won't go into too much detail about them. But I think we all know what the worst game of the week was, and it was the monstrosity that happened Sunday morning with Denver and the Jets. The Jets had negative 10 passing yards. This is not the 1930s. Why are you ending with negative 10 passing yards, bro? Man, I had hope for Justin Fields, man. I thought he was going to be a decent level starting caliber quarterback. And you know what? I think he could be if he wasn't on the dang Jets. So that's a problem. And you know what? Denver didn't look all that impressive in their win, but they got it. I suppose it was a game that ended was it a last second field goal? I know it was near the end of the game because they were leading by a little bit. Okay, it wasn't a last second field goal, so never mind. Man, dude, the safety that happened because of the penalty was ridiculous. We love to see weird stuff like that. That game was not good. Even if it had ended in a game-winning field goal, I still probably would have put it down here just because it was disgusting. Number 14, I have another blowout, or not another blowout, but a blowout. Rams and Baltimore. Now, this is just kind of a depressing one for Baltimore. Hopefully, I think they get Lamar Jackson back next week, if I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken. I thought they said he was going to be out 2 weeks, last I checked. But hopefully he'll be back next week, because they need him. It'll be... It's not the Cooper Rush show anymore. He's not the serviceable backup that he was in Dallas anymore. I think that might be the worst the Ravens have done in quite a while. Offense wise, they just looked inept. And not to mention Puka also got hurt. So even the Rams didn't really come out of this one with a great win. It wasn't even an entertaining blowout for the Rams. So yeah, that one's down at 14. Number 13, we have Cleveland and Pittsburgh, another episode of the Dylan Gabriel Show. Not very great, so maybe we see Shedeur Sanders start. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. Pittsburgh looked, as solid as any team is going to look against Cleveland, so good for them. They only got one loss, which is interesting. I might be willing to flip my playoff prediction now, because one of those dang teams has got to win the AFC North, and if it has to be Pittsburgh, so be it, I guess. What I really want to see is them go 8-9 and still win the division. I think that'd be funny to have a losing team win. That'd be nice, especially in a division that we thought was going to be so great at season's start. Number 12, I have Tennessee and Las Vegas. I literally do not know anything that happened in this game. I will be looking at the data right now, and that will be the first time I will ever see the data. I have no clue what happened. I didn't pay any attention to this game. Cameron Ward, 26 for 38, 222 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. So why was Van Jefferson the Titans' leading receiver? I know they don't have anybody good, but what happened to Calvin? Wait, is Calvin really out? I think he might be. Okay, yeah, it was not a close game. They were up by a lot. This should be lower. Tennessee's not very good. Number 11, I have Seattle and Jacksonville. This was just kind of a boring game as far as these teams go. I know Jacksonville scored 12. I don't know how they scored 12. Did they score 12 by 4 field goals? Because if they did, that's ugh. Oh, no, they didn't. Okay. So, yeah, what? Did they miss 2 extra points or something? Oh, they must have gone for 2 or something. I don't know. Maybe they missed an extra point and then went for 2 and missed or something. But yeah, because they did have 2 touchdowns. It looks like JXN did solidly. I'm still going to call him JXN. I don't care. That's a way cooler acronym than JSN. Yeah, JXN he did good, and it looks like, honestly, Sam Darnold is a competent quarterback. You know, it just wasn't the caliber of game that I thought it was going to be, and for the disappointing nature, I'm putting it that low. Number 10, I have New England and New Orleans. I think New Orleans has been keeping it kind of close, but, like, there was a little bit of a time where they, like, kind of came back, but then they kind of fumbled away the game, literally and figuratively. The Saints did, so for that, not great. Another game that I didn't really look at too much, but I saw what happened a little bit. Number 9, I have Buffalo, Atlanta, and man, these are the two most confusing. Actually, no, maybe not the two most. Atlanta's the most confusing team for me right now, but Buffalo, I don't know. I think they just put themselves into a hole. Josh Allen did not play a good game. He still doesn't have great receivers, and you know what? He threw 2 picks and also fumbled, so there's that. The only reason it's this high is because Bijan Robinson had a nice 81-yard run, I think. So that was cool. Number 8, I have another upset of a major team, Philadelphia, New York. This one was a bit more fun to see because we got to see good old Jackson Dart and Cam Sketibo. Mr. bash his head into a brick wall, man. I find it funny how they just in this past draft, they drafted, like, their top quarterback, their top running back. Like, and last year they drafted their receiver. Like, they're a whole different team, like, at least offensively. I mean, I guess they drafted Abdul Carter, too, so, like, defensively they got a cool new starter as well. Like, but they're really changing a lot, but it doesn't seem like they're getting too much better. I mean, they beat the Eagles, so maybe, but, like, in the grand scheme of things, are they gonna like make the playoffs? Probably not, I would assume, unless Jackson Dart has a, like, what's his face, Daniel Jones type year. I don't know. We'll see. Number 7, I've got San Francisco, Tampa Bay. This is another game. This is the injury bowl. We had, like, everybody injured, so that's just great. You don't love to see it, but I suppose, yeah, San Francisco just sacrificing everybody so that Christian McCaffrey can have a good season. And, you know, Christian McCaffrey did pretty good. But ultimately, didn't really matter. Tampa Bay kind of pulled away with it, so good for them. Number 6, I have the first of the close games, Arizona and Indianapolis. This is the first one where I think Indianapolis didn't really blow out the easy team, like, because they faced a lot of easier teams, but they've seemed to blow them out in most cases. Jacoby Brissett did start for the Cardinals. I don't know if Kyler's injured or what's going on there, but interesting. He always loved to see Jacoby Brissett and what's the other guy? Tyrod Taylor. Those are the two that have been playing forever. Yeah, I mean, it was a competitive game throughout. They both led. Cardinals led going into the fourth quarter, but I guess they kind of threw it away there. Why is Michael Badgley kicking for the Colts? What's going on here? I thought they had Spencer Schrader. Did Spencer Schrader get injured or something? I know the Chiefs had Spencer Schrader last year, but then he got injured, and then, I don't know, bro. That's weird. I'm confused. I guess I will not know unless I actually, like, see an article on it. But yeah, Colts still won. No major upset there. Cardinals probably could have won, but alas. And now their schedule doesn't get any easier, so I don't know. Number 5, we have a more entertaining game that was closer than the score would indicate, and very entertaining game for me. Kansas City, Detroit. This guy put on a pretty big show, 4 total touchdowns, and had a Ravens-type game. Credit where credit's due. The Lions, like, they played well. Especially their offense, like, in the first half at least. Our defense kind of stepped up at the end there, but, like, our offense was able to move down the field pretty well on them. And, you know, with Rice coming back, I think we gonna be real scary. We're gonna be a top 5 offensive league with a top 5 receiver core. Mark my words, those boys are top 5. I'm telling you. Like, Rice is gonna open up much more options for Worthy and for, like, everybody, for Kelsey, for himself. Like, it's gonna be great. We're gonna be passing it to everybody. And, you know, there might not be a guy that, like, has a lot of individually good stats, but, like, I don't care, honestly. Like, I know how talented those guys are, and they got what's in them. I will say, as someone who likes the Lions, you don't like to see the fight at the end. Like, I don't know. I'm not really much of a fan of Brian Branch just in general. Like, he gets fined a lot. But, like, yeah, not something you want to see, especially from two teams that I would love to make the Super Bowl and play against each other. But yeah, I mean, I think the Lions will be fine overall. They had some opportunities, they just didn't execute. And for anyone blaming the refs, no, don't. Like, if you're going to blame the refs, like, find a new sport. This is not the time for this. The game of NFL is not rigged. And, like, people are saying, oh, the play where, what's it called? The play where Jared Goff caught the touchdown, they're mad that they, like, called an illegal formation on that. And they're mad that they called, like, holding on Travis Kelce play where it was very clearly holding. And they're mad, basically, that the Chiefs got no penalties. And I'm like, well-coached teams don't get penalized. Last week, we were not well-coached. We did not play a clean game, and we were penalized 13 times. This game, it was a lot better. So, KC walked away with the W, badly needed W. I think they can now still get that 13-4 record that I predicted for them. I don't know if they're going to get it. I think my prediction for now is 12-5 because they're going to lose to the Bills. We all know that. And then I still think they have their one other trap loss, which the Jaguars might have been that trap loss. I don't know. We'll see. But I still think they probably end up doing one more sort of deal like that, unfortunately. Man, my hair is not doing good today. I don't know. I was out, it was really rainy, had to do a cross-country workout, whatever. Dude, I mean, honestly, I had the option between the best sport ever, football, or the worst sport ever, cross-country. And for some reason, I picked cross-country. Just kidding. There is a reason. It's because I'm not built for football. I'm like 2 pounds in total, so I would die if I got hit. But yeah, for some reason, chose to do cross country, and I was pretty decent at it, so at least there's that. But would have rather been able to play football, alas. Number 4, I have a really weird game. One that I watched. It was Cincinnati Green Bay. I don't know why the Packers let them get that close. I don't know why they let them kind of stay in the game for a little bit, but they were able to pull away with it at the end. Packers always led, but they seemed to be in it like the Bengals did for a decent amount of time, and it was kind of stressful. But for all the funny stuff that happened in the game, gotta put it above there. Yeah. Maybe it's just because I watched it and I have bias towards the ones that I watched, but I think it was pretty good. And then we have 3 games that ended on a game-winning field goal, all of which are in the top 3. Number 3, I have Chargers-Miami, just because it was kind of ineptitude versus inaptitude, who could be the least bad. And in the end, it was Chargers. Miami had this one in the bag, and they folded. They could have dealt the Chargers another loss, but alas, they did not. Yeah. Chargers kicked a game-winning field goal, walked away with the win there. Number 2, I have... What do I have it? Oh, yeah, I have the Chicago-Washington at number 2, which I think was the best ending to a game because, the Washington fumble followed by the game-winning field goal by Jake Moody, of all people. I didn't know he could even, make a kick. That's shocking to me that he made, 4 out of his 5 kicks. Surprised he even made that many. But yeah, game-winning field goal for him. Real good game. Maybe Chicago's his place. I don't know. But either way, yeah, Washington kind of fumbled that one away. Did I pick Chicago to win? I think I might have. I think that might have been an upset pick that I did. I don't know. But yeah, I think that's the best ending. But overall, the game as a whole wasn't as entertaining as the number 1 pick for this week. That being Dallas and Carolina. Dallas makes yet another appearance on the number 1 game. I think this is their 3rd time appearing in the best game of the week. So good for them, but they have gone 1-1-1 in those games. So yeah, this was their 1 loss. They lost to Carolina. I don't know what that means. I don't know if Carolina is good or if Dallas is just not good. I think Dallas is not good. I would suspect, but their offense is playing really good. But then again, the Panthers' offense kind of is playing well for some reason because I guess Rico Dowdle is insane now. Yeah, either way, good game. A lot of cool offensive plays and stuff. Watched this one as well. Yeah, down to the wire, and then last second field goal for Ryan Fitzgerald. I always get his name mixed up because it's Ryan Fitzpatrick and then Larry Fitzgerald. I think of those and I sometimes call him Ryan Fitzpatrick. But yeah, field goal for him, game winning, best game of the week. I think it's probably one of the weaker best games of the week that we've seen, but it's a best one nonetheless, and we'll go into the little bracket at the end of the year for best games every week. So, now we will get to the power rankings, which I have already drawn some numbers here on the whiteboard, so we don't have to do that. There might not be a lot of space for these, but hopefully there will be. So, your power rankings after week 6, we will start with the number 32 team, which until they win, the Jets are going to be here. They're not great. Negative 10 passing yards, yeah, you're going to stay down here. Number 31, I have the Tennessee Titans. Another team that just has not looked good. They moved down 3 spots from last week. Yeah, not great. I don't have a lot of faith for them just in general in the future. Number 30, not moving at all from last week, I have Cincinnati. They're still bad. Unless they get a win with Joe Flacco, who I don't even think is much better than who they had before. Until they do that, they're going to stay here. Number 29, moving up 2 spots despite a loss, I have Miami. I just think right now the bottom 3 teams are worse than them. That's the only reason why they're this high. I still don't think they're great. Their only win has come against the Jets. So, I don't know. They're not great. Cincinnati is only 2-4, but the fact that they just have no semblance of good offense or defense, they got to be down here. Number 28, I have Cleveland falling 2 spots after Dylan Gabriel didn't have as great a performance as he did the previous week. I think he kind of did all right against the Vikings, but then he met the steel curtain and did not do great. So Cleveland's at 28. Then number 27, I have another team that it's kind of, New Orleans has kind of been close to winning a lot of games, but not actually won a lot of games. They beat the Giants, so there's that. At least they have a win, but either way, not the best. Number 26, I have a team that I at one point after 2 weeks I had them making the playoffs, but now Arizona is nowhere close. They're throwing, they're gonna get last in their division, and their schedule again doesn't get any easier. I don't know who they've been playing next week. I gotta check. I mean, we'll check it later. You know what? No, I'm right here. I'll check now. Packers. Okay, Packers aren't they aren't a top 3 team, but they're good. Yeah, schedule for Arizona is not gonna let up any, and I don't know why Brissett's playing, but if Kyler Murray's not playing, I think Kyler Murray's better than Brissett. I mean, I don't know at this point with how their offense has been functioning. Number 25, falling down to the bottom 8, falling so far from glory, I have Baltimore going down 3 spots from last week. Yeah. I mean, there's not much else to say. They've looked nothing. They need Lamar Jackson back, and they need him back now. That defense is gonna stay injured, I think, for most of the year. If they can sneak into the playoffs, I think they might be a sneaky team, but it's just gonna be an uphill battle from here, honestly. They're 1-5. It's gonna be a rough one. And I think they have a bye week next week as well, so they're gonna go they're going to go another week without having the opportunity to win. And then after the bye week, who do they play? The Bears. That's not a gimme. That's not an easy team. I mean, hopefully Lamar will be back, I would think. Bears aren't a bad team. Number 24, we've got a team that has not changed positions, Las Vegas. They did about what I expected them to do against Tennessee, which is win in a unmemorable game between 2 teams that are likely out of the playoffs already. Number 23, we have Minnesota, who was on a bye week this week, but yet still fell 2 spots. There were 2 teams that I think that rose above them. Yeah, there are 2 teams, or I guess 3 teams went above them and a couple teams went below them. But either way, same deal. They went down 2 spots. I don't know who they're going to start at quarterback, honestly, now, because Wentz has been more decent than I thought he was going to be, but I still think McCarthy is the better option. I mean, he's my favorite player on the Vikings, if you go watch my first episode of Beyond the Stats. So, yeah. Number 22, moving up a whole 7 spots after a major win, New York Giants. And this is a team that could very well move up more if they continue to show what they have shown. And I think they've got a chance to. So, yeah, good for them. They've moved up, and they will continue to if they keep doing what they've been doing. Number 21, injury bitten again, San Francisco. Lost Fred Warner for the year. Now they're down probably their top 2 defensive players for the whole year. They just can't catch a break with injuries, man. And you know what? They've been to 2 Super Bowls in the past, 6 years. When they're healthy, they can be a really good team. But just the fact that they just can't get away from injuries, it's an awful experience. Because if they were healthy, they would be a playoff team. I would definitely say oh, San Francisco, easy playoff team. But the fact that they just have so many injuries, I think they're gonna go 8-9, 7-10, miss the playoffs. I don't think. I mean, even if they're 4-2 right now, I don't see them winning more games. I don't see them getting better from here on out. So I think this is where they'll stay. Next, moving up 3 spots from last week, I have Carolina. This is another weird team for me. I don't know how they are. I mean, they shut out the Falcons, but the Falcons are an even weirder team, so I don't even know how to feel about them either. I did put Dallas above Carolina for now, because I think Dallas has looked more impressive in the majority of games, even though Carolina just beat them. I'm not ready to move Carolina up a whole 4 spots yet, but because Carolina has looked very suspect, but Dallas has also looked suspect, so there's that. Next, we have the other bye week team, Houston, also falling down a spot. They have a chance next week. They're playing the Seahawks. They have a chance to make a statement and say that we're not a bad team. We're still a contender in the AFC South. And I think that'll definitely be the biggest game of the year for them. I think they're 2-4 right now, so they need it for sure. And of course, number 17 is the team that I have no clue where to place, Atlanta. They're right in the middle. I mean, they beat the Bills, but I think the Bills beat the Bills, not really Atlanta. The Bills kind of just made a bunch of mistakes, and Atlanta capitalized. But at least they have Bijan, so that's nice. Number 16, another team that kind of fumbled, both literally and figuratively, Washington. I think they're good. I think they're solid, but you can't do that. And just because they were below them significantly before, but they did win against them, I'm putting Chicago above them. I moved them up 4 spots, moved Washington down 5 spots to just compensate for that. But I do think right now Chicago is probably better than Washington. Maybe not. Maybe I should have done the Carolina-Dallas thing where I just put Washington 1 spot above. But Chicago's a decent mid-level team. The real question is, would Chicago win if they played Atlanta? I don't know, because again, Atlanta's weird. Chicago and Houston, I think I would give the edge to Chicago. Same with Chicago and Dallas. But this is the range from 20 to 15 where it gets really weird. Number 14, I have a team that they almost lost to the Dolphins. The Chargers are not looking too good. The loss of Joe Alt seems to be a big one because Herbert's not playing as well as he was. And the wide receiver room seems to be kind of falling back down to earth. McConkey, while I do think he's no better than the 4th best receiver in the AFC West, I do think he's probably still the best receiver on the Chargers. He's done decent enough for them. Maybe Keenan Allen you can make an argument for. In fact, I might honestly make an argument for Keenan Allen, but still, I don't know. That's my one major hot take that I've had since the beginning of last year, pretty much, is that Ladd McConkey is super overrated. Not even top 3 receivers in the AFC West. Rice and Worthy are above him. Cortland Sutton's above them. I'll give Cortland Sutton his respect. I think people don't talk about him as much, but he's number 1. Worthy and Rice are 2 and 3, and then Ladd. Ladd just had no competition from the rest of the receiver room last year. Like, who else was Herbert going to throw to? Of course he had a billion yards. 13, we have the largest movement of any team, falling 10 spots after incurring a losing streak. Philadelphia. Why did you lose to the Giants? I don't know what that means, but right now you're not looking very good, so we're dropping you 10 whole spots. Yeah, I don't know. Was not a great week for Philadelphia. They were at number 1 for like the first couple weeks until they lost. They were number 1 because they were the reigning champs. So, yeah, they were doing that. And this is the first game that they have been in that was not a one-score game. And for that to be like a big loss to the Giants, I don't know. It's weird, and they're a very suspect team right now. Same with the Chargers. Number 12, a team that has been up and coming recently. They did only beat the Saints, but New England still looks solid, and with a win against the Bills and Drake May playing really well, I think they have a good chance at snagging a playoff spot now. The weird thing for me is, like, you got to have at least one team win every division. And I think I still go Buffalo, KC, Jacksonville, and then AFC North team. Doesn't really matter between them. And then wild cards, like, I mean, right now it's looking more like Denver, New England, Indianapolis, and the Chargers not being in there. But I don't know. We'll see. I mean, all 4 of those teams have 4 or more wins, so good for them, I guess. Number 11, we have a team that only has 1 loss, but they've looked kind of suspect in some of their games, so I'm going to put Pittsburgh here for now. They could very well move up. They could very well be a really solid team. I think Rodgers has been playing, he's been playing better than he has been since he left Green Bay, which is saying something, and especially with a receiver core that I don't think is that great. I mean, I don't think DK Metcalf is quite as good as Garrett Wilson, and for the limited time he had Devontae Adams with him on the Jets, didn't do much. Alan Lazard was also there, but he was pretty much only good because he had played with Rodgers before. Either way, now moving on to the top 10, we have number 10, Jacksonville. I mean, they looked good after last week, but then this week they just kind of sputtered, and I think this is what is to be more expected from them. I didn't think of Seattle's defense as being like super elite, so for them to hold them to only 12 points, I mean, pretty decent, because I do think Jacksonville does have a pretty good offense, but I don't know. And then number 9, we have another team that is now incurring a losing streak. Buffalo, moving down 7 spots. Josh Allen's got to play better because his receivers are not helping him. It's a bottom 5 receiving core in the league. Maybe not bottom 5, but bottom 10 receiving core in the league. James Cook, I don't even know how James Cook did. Let me see how James Cook did, because I mean, James Cook could be something that could help out the offense. 17 carries, 87 yards. 5.1 average. I mean, that's good. So James Cook is doing all right. But then the defense is, not only is it not looking great, but it's also a little bit banged up, I think. So I don't know if they'll climb higher on this list even with a win. I mean, I think they'll climb a couple spots, obviously, because I think they should be higher than this. They're a better team than this, but I don't know. I think they're on a bye. Yeah, they're on a bye next week, so got a little bit of time to recuperate. Number 8, I've got the number 1 team from last week, Detroit, moving down 7 spots. I think this was an abnormal game for them. I think they will be back to normal pretty much next week, but this week they did not look great. They had missed opportunities. I think, honestly, now that I'm looking back at this, maybe they should be higher, but I'll keep them here for now. It was a game that, they were the number 1 team, and they were playing the team that was 12 in the power rankings last week, and they weren't able to execute. And I think, honestly, the whole reason the Chiefs were that low is just because other people were putting them in low. I knew that the Chiefs were capable of beating the Lions, but I was just, led into thinking that otherwise because of everybody else. Because, the Chiefs are talented enough to beat anybody. They just didn't have a great game like disciplinarily against the Jaguars or against Philadelphia and Los Angeles either. Either way, I think Detroit will be fine. They'll climb back up. They got a game against the Buccaneers. If they win that, that'll be a definite move up in the rankings for sure. Number 7, I have a team that I am also kind of confused on, Green Bay. I am going to put Green Bay above Detroit because Green Bay did beat Detroit, and honestly, unless you count the Ravens with Lamar as a good team, the Lions have not really beaten any teams with like great defenses. Like, they played the Packers back when the Packers defense was like insane, and they played the Chiefs defense, which is a good defense. But like they've played Browns, who they got a good defense, but like their offense isn't doing them any favors. And then Bengals. And who else did they face? Detroit. That I'm talking about. Bears. The Bears are decent, I suppose. But back then, in that era, they weren't very decent. Back in like week 2 or whatever. Either way, Green Bay right now I'm gonna put above because they still only have one loss. Like, they were on bye last week and then they played the Bengals weirdly. So this could be a team that I could see dropping like quite a bit if they lose. But if they win, they're probably not going to move up very much. So I think this is one of the higher spots that they'll be. They moved up 3 spots from last week, so I suppose that's good. But that was mostly just because people fell below them. Number 6, I have a team that did not move from last week. I got Denver. Although they set the game of football back 100 years with that game, they still walked out with a win. Wasn't a pretty win at all, and against a team like that, they probably should have done way better. But like they held them to -10 passing yards, so they did impressive on the defensive front for sure. Right now though, I don't know. They're kind of mid. There's not a lot of teams that I would say are really a cut above everybody else right now. The top 5 I do think are a little bit above, but like almost like a lot of those top 5 teams are teams that I think either will lose this coming week or are going to be exposed at some point for fraud. One team that I think is only going to get better, though, is my boys, the Kansas City Chiefs at number 5. They played like a top 3 team. The only reason I'm not moving them higher is because they're still only 500. They got to quit the not playing like clean games. And, I thought they were back after the Ravens game, and then they went and did what they did against the Jaguars, so that who knows, this might be the same. I think the addition of Rashee Rice is going to be big, though, so that's why I'm putting him like this high. Either way, if they can put up like a really solid game against the Raiders, if they can like blow out the Raiders by a lot, I think they'll move up even more potentially. But for now, I think the top 4 teams are a little bit above everybody else. And if you told me that these 4 teams would be the top 4 back in week 1, I would have laughed at you so much. But here we are. Number 4, we have Daniel Jones and the Indianapolis Colts. They're 5-1. I can't ignore it anymore. They're a good team. I don't know if I buy into the hype that they're going to win the division yet. I still think Jacksonville is solid enough, and I think there will be a time when the Colts drop a couple games. I still think the highest I have them finishing is like 11-6, but right now they're good. Right now they're doing great, and they could be a force for sure. It's going to be up to if Daniel Jones can continue to do whatever he's doing, which I don't have any faith in him. He's done it once before, but then what happened? Daniel Jones is the weirdest guy in the NFL. I don't know what to think about him. Number 3, I have the Los Angeles Rams, and I think this is just a team that suffered an unfortunate losing streak at the wrong time. They lost to 49ers they didn't have a losing streak. They lost to the 49ers, which I think was a winnable game that they kind of choked away. And then they also lost to the Eagles, which is a very close one, again, that they could have won. So they have not lost a game where they were not in it. They have been in like every single game. Obviously, we're the only team to beat the Colts, so I'm going to put them above the Colts for now. I think Rams still have a good chance of winning the NFC. I still have them as my number 3 in the NFC, but we'll see what happens because there's a lot of I think my top 4 in the NFC from the playoff ranking predictions video are the clear top 4, except for maybe the Eagles, honestly, at this point. But like those 4 are gonna be tough. Now, a team that is not in that top 4, but I think right now at this moment deserves a top 2 spot is Seattle. They're 4-2. Their only loss was to the number 1 team, and they lost to San Francisco, but that was week 1. Who cares about what happened in week 1? They're looking good. Their offense is clicking. Their defense is doing what it needs to. Sam Darnold's looking great. JXN is insane. Right now, they're a top 2 team. They moved up 6 spots from last week. I could definitely see them falling, even if they get a win, but like just because like other teams might pass them up. But like they look good right now. So right now, Seattle's the number 2 team. You love to see it. But number 1, currently the best team in the league, the only the team that beat Seattle, but only barely. I got Tampa Bay at number 1 right now, and I do know that they're a bit banged up right now, so it could be something that lasts only a little bit. But for right now, they're 5-1, looking as good as anybody, looking like a powerhouse in the NFC. I think the Rams are a more talented roster, but for right now, the Tampa Bay is looking like they're at a good push right now. Baker Mayfield's playing the season of his life. Wide receivers are insane. Igbuka is crazy. So right now, Tampa Bay is the number 1 team in the league, moving up 3 spots from last week as well. So that is your power rankings pre-week 7. Here's everybody again. And now we will do the week 7 game picks. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So only 2 teams on a bye this week. Only 2 teams on a bye this week? Huh? Is Baltimore and Buffalo? Yeah, it is Baltimore and Buffalo. Huh, interesting. Anyway, so first, Thursday Night Football, Steelers, Bengals. I feel like it'd be funny if the Bengals won. I feel like this is the type of game that the Bengals would win. I'm gonna pick the Steelers, but I don't know. This could be a weird upset one. I'm picking the Steelers, though. I think they're just a better team. Rams, Jaguars. On this one, I do think momentum is going to swing in the unfavorable direction for the Jaguars. Even though they are at home, I'm going to pick the Rams here. I think Rams are a higher-ranked team right now. They're better. Jaguars are going to, unfortunately, drop another game, I think, going 4-3, which is going to put them a fair bit behind the Colts, but I think they can catch up. I don't trust Daniel Jones to keep up what he's been doing the whole season. Colts are number 4 team right now, but I don't think they'll always be there. Next, we have Eagles-Vikings. And, logic would say the Eagles will bounce back, but, logic said the Eagles would bounce back against the Giants, and they didn't. So, I don't know, but I'm going to pick the Eagles here. This definitely seems like, again, a Vikings winnable game, though. But I'll pick the Eagles. Patriots-Titans. Vrabel against his former team. I think he's going to be determined to win this one for sure. Titans right now don't have much left in the tank that I can see, so I'm going to go Patriots here. Panthers and Jets. I would love to predict a Jets win because I think if they're going to have a shot at beating a team, it's going to be against the Panthers, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think they dropped to 0-7 and Panthers win. Panthers got that good momentum. You got to take a look at it, even though it hasn't helped me out great. Next, Dolphins and Browns. With an offense as bad as the Dolphins and with a run defense as bad as the Dolphins against a running back as decent as Quinshon Judkins has been, I think Browns are winning this one. As much as I hate them, I think they got a better shot at winning this one than the Dolphins do, so I'll pick them to win and improve. I think, do they only have 1 win? Yeah, they only have 1 win, so they'll go to 2-5 and Miami will go to 1-6, still with their only win against the Jets. Next, Saints Bears. I think Bears will continue their run. I still think Saints are one of the worst teams in the league, even if they're not quite the worst like we may have thought at the beginning of the season. I think Bears have got this one for sure. They're a team that's good enough not to lose to the Saints, I would hope. Next, Raiders Chiefs. This one is going to be a bloodbath. Chiefs are going to run all over the Raiders. They're going to score 47 points. The final score is going to be 47-13 in the favor of the Chiefs. It's going to be a great time. Yeah, Chiefs are winning this one. Their offense is about to be unstoppable against that puny Raiders defense. Oh, yeah. Yeah, if the Chiefs win this one, or if the Chiefs lose this one, what should I wear? Should I wear something funny? I don't know. I'll be fine. I'll wear like a fedora or something if the Chiefs lose. Okay, Colts Chargers. Please win, Colts. I don't want the Chargers to get another win. They hopefully won't, because right now the Colts are looking better. I don't like the Colts going 6-1 because I want the Jaguars to win the division because I predicted them to, but I also don't like seeing Daniel Jones do good because he's weird. But yeah, I think Colts are winning this one. I hope they do. Giants, Broncos. I would love for the Giants to win because, again, AFC West opponents, good for them to lose. But I think what's been carrying the Giants team, or at least what did carry them, is their offensive performance. Jackson Dart's, Cam Skatibo been looking good, and the Broncos have a really good defense. I know their linebacker core is pretty great, so run defense, I don't know if Cam is going to be able to get through that. Next, Packers, Cardinals. Cardinals are kind of just in that state where they're just dive bombing. It's not going to be great for them. I think Packers win this one and go to 5-1-1. And honestly, if they do win that, they could be a top 5 team, low key. Even though they need an impressive win to really vault them over. I don't like moving the Packers up because they haven't really had an impressive win in quite a while. They had the win against the Lions, but then they lost to the Browns, and then the week after that is when they tied. So they haven't had a real impressive win since like week 2, where they played the Commanders. So yeah, I don't know about that one. We'll see. I think Packers still win. Hopefully can get an impressive one. We'll see. Commanders, Cowboys. Ooh, this is an interesting one. I haven't seen this one on the schedule. Well, Washington's higher in the rankings. I got to think about how these two teams match up. Because I think it's more about the offenses for these teams. Like, Commanders got Jaden Daniels. Another player that I just am very confused by is Jacoby Krosky-Merritt. Like, why is bro good? Why, like, he's just their backup running back and he's casually just doing just as good. It kind of makes me understand why people aren't paying running backs anymore. Either way, Commanders defense versus Commanders offense versus Cowboys defense. I don't know if they match better up than Cowboys offense versus Commanders defense. I think Commanders defense is a little bit better, but so is Cowboys offense. I think I'm going to pick... These are two teams that both lost, so they both kind of have negative momentum. I think I would like to pick Washington here because I think they're a better team. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll pick Washington. Why not? I think they'll be hungry for a win in this one for sure. Not that the Cowboys won't, but I just don't think the Cowboys are going to do what they need to do to get that. We'll see. Next, Falcons, 49ers. Two really weird teams, but 49ers are injured, so ideally they should not win this one, and Falcons should. If Falcons win, they will improve to 4-2, which is honestly very interesting, because that could propel them up pretty far. The fact is, though, their two losses were the blowout against the Panthers, obviously, and then... What else did they have? I mean, they beat the Vikings pretty nicely. Did they lose in week 1? They did lose in week 1 to the Buccaneers. So honestly, they might be pretty good if you ignore the blowout to the Panthers. I don't know. we'll see. This is the test week for the Falcons. If they can put a really solid performance against the 49ers, they're going to move up into like the top 14 or 13 or 12 maybe even. We'll see, because they'll be 4-2. They'll be a solid team. I don't know. Then we got, I think, the two most interesting games of the week. First, Buccaneers-Lions. I am going to go with the Lions on this one. Even though the Buccaneers are the number one team, I think they are due for a loss. And I will say, last year, the Lions lost to only the Buccaneers and the Bills. So the Buccaneers did have their number last year, but I think the Lions get it done in this one. I think Lions will be hungry for revenge. Even though Brian Branch is suspended, I think Egbuka might be out because I think he was injured. I don't know that for a fact, though. But either way, I think the Lions are going to get the dub on this one. I just have that feeling. Even though the Buccaneers are top one, Lions have got this one. I hope. I like the Lions. They're the favorite team in the NFC, but I hope they can win this one and get back on track for sure. And I think they will as well. And finally, Texans-Seahawks. We have a real test for Seattle's offense as they go up against a stout defense in the Texans. I want to see, they've faced Jacksonville, who, coming into that week was really good on defense. Then they played Buccaneers, which was more of a shootout. Not really a lot of defense being had in that game. Cardinals, which they won last second field goal. Saints, they did fine against. Steelers, they did all right. So I guess they have beaten a team with a pretty solid defense. Texans, it's really just going to be a matter of can the O-line hold up for the Texans. Seahawks have a good secondary though too as well. Two as well, yeah. I think Nick Manowari has looked good, so there's that. I think overall Seattle's a better team, so I think I'll pick them to win this one. It is an upset alert for sure. There's a very fine line between these teams. Even though Houston's number 18 and Seattle's number 2, I'm still saying this is definitely an upset alert. But honestly, with this season, with how last week went and everything, anything could happen. Except for Chiefs-Raiders. Chiefs are winning that one, 100%. But anyway, that'll be it for this weekly episode of Game Rankings, Power Rankings, Predictions, pre-NFL Week 7. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, remember to leave a like and subscribe and comment on the video. All that stuff helps me out a lot. And I will see you guys in the next video for more Beyond the Stats. Goodbye.